Hey, good Friday morning, my friends. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa here. Welcome to the MLive Morning Weather Update. We'll keep it pretty short and sweet. You know, I look across here and I have 4 tabs open, 5 tabs open on my browser, and sometimes I have 10. So let's get on into it, have ourselves a good Friday, and then march on into the weekend, right? All right, so my wife comes home yesterday from work and she's like, what's with all the haze? And again, I think it's just smoke in the air. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's smoke if you have storm systems around because we can't track a clear sky and a big plume of smoke. But that's what it looks like, again, is just kind of a hazy smoke in the air where you have sunshine. And then other spots have like southeast Lower Michigan, Detroit, Ann Arbor area, Oakland County have some clouds around right now, but generally it's going to be a dry and fairly sunny day, I would say. All right. So I want to start off with something, you know, a tiny bit technical. Remember, you know, as a meteorologist, we look at what's going on at the surface, but then all layers of the atmosphere. And in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, it's important to us because that's kind of like an average of what's going to happen above and below. So what you're going to see is what we call an omega block forming. Remember, I don't know if you went to college or if you went to frat row or sorority row, omega, the Greek letter like omega, I can remember omega chi, I think, was one of the fraternities or sororities. And, you know, it's that Greek letter that's kind of shaped like a horseshoe. Okay, so you're going to see that develop in the upper levels of the atmosphere in this forecast. And depends on if you're in these two ends of the horseshoe, that's stormy and showery. If you're in that middle, the big bend in the horseshoe, that is warm and dry. And that's where Michigan will be in general. So let's show you what I'm talking about here. So again, you're looking at the U.S., you're looking at a forecast that's going to go out 10 days, and you're going to watch an omega block form. Okay, first, this is Sunday, and the omega block is starting to form. So you see the big circular part of the horseshoe up around Hudson Bay, and then a storm out in the Dakotas, storm off the East Coast. That's kind of a modified version. This breaks down kind of quickly as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, but then the block becomes stronger as we go out to next weekend, Sunday, October 1st. That's a classic omega block taking up much of the U.S. So a storm drops into the western part of the country, the Pacific Northwest, the Northwest Rockies, the storm system into the southeast, and the big horseshoe part over Michigan and the Great Lakes. And that would be a dry and warmer than normal pattern for us. So when we look at the day-to-day weather at the surface, then I show you here the rainfall forecast every 6 hours, and we go out 10 days, and you see very, very little. This model still wants to indicate that maybe a stray shower could form in the center highlands of northern Lower Michigan, you know, Gaylord, basically somewhere along I-75, a 5, 10, 15-minute shower or something. And then this is tomorrow, and that's a beautiful day. If you want to run the boat again, that's a good pattern, not much wind. And then here's Sunday. Getting a little bit more of a northeast wind, so Saginaw Bay could start to get a little rough on Sunday, but otherwise, very nice conditions. If we go into Monday, it's dry. We go into Tuesday, it's dry. We go into Wednesday, it's dry. Thursday, it's dry. Friday, now, there is a storm system to the south, so maybe we get a shower that creeps into the far southern part of the state late next week. Now we're into Saturday and Sunday. We're out into October, Sunday, October 1st, and we've had hardly a drop of rain. In fact, this is the total rainfall off of that same model for the next 10 days, and it shows maybe a shower in the far south, Well, let me get it for you here. All right, let's see here. Let me get a better, there we go. Okay, so, you know, maybe a shower in the far south, and that's about it as far as rainfall. Grand Rapids could be dry for 10 days. Saginaw, Flint, Bay City dry. The Thumb dry for 10 days. Even Ann Arbor and Detroit likely dry for the next 10 days. And most of northern lower too. That rainfall you see showing in northern lower is that spotty shower that would happen today. Otherwise, dry conditions. Now let's jump back to the temperature forecast. This is the high temperature forecast next 10 days. Today we're going to be 78 to 82 degrees. And tomorrow in the mid to upper 70s. And Sunday in the mid 70s. And Monday in the low 70s. Tuesday maybe 60s to near 70. Wednesday 60s to near 70. Thursday back to the 70s. Friday back to the upper 70s. Next Saturday mid to upper 70s. Next Sunday as the Omega block forms back to the mid to upper 70s. So as you can see, we got ourselves some mighty fine weather, unless you're like me and my wife and our friends / business partners Ted and Marcia. We planted grass seed out at our storage facility, Interlock and Secure Storage. I'll put the plug in, why not? Because we added a building, so soil erosion permits. So, you know, we want to plant the seed when it's time to plant the seed. And so how do you get no rain? Plant grass seed. Then it'll probably stop. How do we get rain back in the area? Let's all go wash our cars, right? Because then we know it will rain quite a bit. So there you go. Great weather. Enjoy it. Best weather in the country right now in Michigan coming up over the next 10 days. Have yourselves a good time. Get your fall projects done. Great for painting. Great for re-roofing the house. Great for siding the house, putting new windows in, pouring cement, whatever. All that stuff. Don't procrastinate, because I know someone will text me or Facebook me or email me and say, I didn't get that done in that great stretch in October. It's now November 15th. Can I still paint the house? And it might not be the case at that point. So, hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. Have yourselves a great weekend. Bye.